Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. So I'm going to do a vlog where I talk to you about what a day in my new life looks like. A lot of y'all came here after seeing me quit my job. I think that's why you're curious to know what I'm actually doing, how I'm actually spending all of my time. A lot of that time is spent vibing, guys, all right? So I really feel as if you don't actually want to see what I do every day because a lot of it is just lying down. Reading, contemplation. I'm gonna, I think, record stuff over the course of a few days and then smash that all together into one video. This morning I had some pancakes, but yesterday I actually made a fruit and yogurt parfait, which is my go-to, one of my go-to breakfast meals. I love making stuff that feels very elaborate and beautiful when it's put together, but is actually very simple. Someone called me a yogi recently and I was like, am I a yogi? I really only do yoga about maybe once a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. But after going to Costa Rica and doing it every day, it was so awesome. And I was like, I really would love to get to the point where I'm doing it every day. That lasted for a little bit and it has gone back to not that often, but I think I'm gonna find the time to do some yoga just so I can include that footage in this video. This morning I actually also did some journaling. I'm one of those people, and I don't like this is true, who has a bunch of different journals. So I thought I'd be a person who would use a planner, right? So I bought this lovely planner from Target. It's called the Day Designer. And in reality, I'm not one for planning my life, you know? You know how I feel about these things, y'all. I like to live in the moment. I like to be free. So instead, I just like write all over it. I do not pay attention. This is some art I did of Thomas Hubel when I first discovered him. And then my third notebook, which is my favorite notebook, is a notebook I actually use when I am reading and watching spiritual stuff. And what I do is I go in and I take notes and then I highlight them in color. And I find the process first of just kind of writing the notes out and then actually coloring them in to be really fun. And I feel like such a kid doing it, but it feels very peaceful and joyful. And I remember reading something about how, like, if you look at like a kindergarten classroom, it's all just like bright primary colors and all these shapes. And if you look at like a modern day office, it's all like gray cubicles. And it's kind of speaks to the way that we lose the life and the light inside of ourselves as we get older. And so I really appreciate the process of coloring because it reminds me that I am young at heart. So after my morning so far, I have been struck with inspiration, and so that's not what happened. Let me stop lying, y'all. Okay, so what happened is yesterday I recorded a video about how to show up with your personality on camera, and I made a poll about like what kind of videos y'all want to see, and the personality one won. So I sat myself down, I recorded a whole video. I thought it was great. I was super high energy, and then I looked back at the footage. At some point my microphone falls because it's not attached. It just falls, and so then the rest of the video has this terrible audio. Same thing with that video about quitting my job. The main one just crossed 100,000 views, which is wild, and I love that for me and for you all. And I genuinely feel with that video, I really feel like, oh, Chimdi, you really out here changing lives. And it was that moment of just like, but I have trained my brain to always look for like the positive why. I believe everything in my life I have called to my life. I believe I want every single thing that is happening to me in this moment. So I'm like, oh, interesting. I wanted this. Why do I want this? And what I realized is that I could approach the video in a whole new way. Instead of just kind of sitting here, I could actually go out in nature, which you know I love. Have you liked this video yet, by the way? I'm out here in this park for y'all, all right? I ain't doing this for me. Nah, just kidding, I'm doing this for me. I love being outside, this is beautiful. The last video I put out, I didn't have any like traditional B-roll, so I put a bunch of stuff on top of it. It just takes way longer to edit in that way. And so boom, I did create that situation, right? And I was also thinking about my channel. Just hit 10K subscribers and I appreciate y'all are the best. I honestly just recently had a breakthrough, which I think I'm gonna talk about in a video that comes out before this one, about wanting things, admitting to myself that I want stuff and saying it out loud and realizing maybe I'm holding things lightly with YouTube, but maybe I'm just scared to say that I do want 100,000 subscribers and I do want that in a year. You know what I mean? Like, there's a part of me that thinks,
oh, well, you shouldn't want it. You should just want what you have. You should just be happy where you are. You know God gives you everything you need.
and I just had a moment where I realized you can want things, it's okay. You know, God really is gonna give you everything you want. As soon as you ask for it, it's making its way to you. Yeah, so the plan for today, I'm just gonna drink some more water because I'm trying to be way more intentional about drinking water. So the plan for today is I'm gonna go out in nature and I'm gonna record a couple YouTube videos. I wanna record the one about the personality again, and I also wanna record one about, what is the other idea that I had? I don't wanna go home. Can we drive from zone to zone? So this is why you shouldn't have multiple notebooks. Oh, so in the video or in the community post where I asked folks what video they wanted to see, this awesome person, you're the best, gave me like 7 ideas that were all awesome. And the number one was a day in the life. Y'all the reason why I'm making this video. But the other one they had was around balancing money and living your values. So I wanna go out in nature and talk about that one too. And then I don't have anything else planned after that. I wanna give myself 5 hours. And I think that is the main difference in not having that full-time job, is just having your days that are yours. It's like, what do I wanna do today? And like, if I want to spend 5 hours running around a park and just getting B-roll, I can do that. And no one's gonna say nothing to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's not like there's a point where you stop with the trauma healing. Like, this is life, the all of it. The trauma, the in-betweens, the contentment, the satisfaction, all of it is life, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean about people just going through it. Oh, I'm wondering if I should stop this voice notes and take a picture of these motherfucking birds. Let me do that.
All right, y'all, so I am here in the Arboretum and I'm going to be grabbing a bunch of content. I saw a sign that said you actually need a permit to shoot, but I think that's only if, like, this is vlogging. I'll be making some YouTube money off this, but that's not commercial, all right? So don't tell nobody what you saw here, okay? Okay, so I'm really liking this area. I think I'm gonna set up shop over here and record my video. This is just a walking trail. I've only seen one couple come from this area, so I'm hoping that nobody else will come and interrupt my frame, interrupt my shot. It's like super green and wooded, very much my vibe. But I must say, I don't think, if you'd asked like younger Chimdi if her vibe would be setting up her camera in the woods and recording videos, I don't know if she would have said,
That sounds like me.
but I love this for me. It's like a set of stairs right here. That's pretty fun. I'm gonna get some B-roll of me walking up and down these stairs, I think. I continue down the trail and I found a perfect bench. So I think I'm literally just gonna set up my camera right here and just record this video sitting on this bench. How easy, how convenient. I love this for me. Theodore Michael Meyer. I feel like I should bring this just a little bit closer. All right. Okay, this is good. I'm gonna do that intro one more time. I just finished recording the video. I've got my camera on a tripod. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the camera off. I'm gonna put this thing. So this is a holder for my phone. So I take my thumbnails using my phone. So I'm going to take a bunch of photos on the bench and hopefully use one of them for my thumbnail, and then keep wandering around and keep getting B-roll, and hopefully if I find another spot to record, I'll record that entire video over and try not to like scratch the gazillion mosquito bites that I got. At least 5 mosquito bites just from recording that video the one time. So part of me is like, is it worth the mosquito bites? But as you all know, this is the life I chose. So yes, it is worth the mosquito bites. Okay. I got so close to the national columns, but the place is actually closing right now.
Please scan it now. $3. $8.99. How many store-provided bags did you use to? 10 cents. Your total is $37.28. Please select your. Please wait. System process.
All right, y'all, so I just got back and I'm gonna treat myself to not this entire thing of watermelon, but if I did eat the whole thing, truly, who's gonna stop me? Update, I did in fact eat all but 5 pieces of this watermelon. So part of me is kind of just like, why stop now, you know? You know what's so interesting about vlogging is you really are confronted with what you do every day. You know, you really gotta look at it in the face and be like,
Oh, that It is how I spend my time.
Is it, as I said in a previous video, aligned to my values? And I love watermelon, so far, so good. I think I'm gonna go hop in the tub because I'm feeling really gross and sweaty. And then I'm gonna probably transfer my footage over, figure out what I'm gonna do for dinner. One of my go-to things is getting Stouffer's lasagna and then just adding my own pasta to it to like stretch it out. That's what this vlog has for you all. Amazing tips on poverty recipes. This is my meal of carbs, meat, and cheese with extra carbs on the side. I used to live in LA, and I know the people in my LA friend group would just be so upset seeing me eat like this. But I think it's really important to remember that literally you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, and don't let anybody tell you differently. I have to say, vlogging feels very intimate, you know, to be welcoming you all into my like evening. I'm just like, are we at the point where you should be spending the night with me? I don't know about that. It's now 11:46. I have watched, I think, 3 episodes of Great British Bake Off. The time has come for me to stop and do my night routine. I have a very simple night routine in that I brush my teeth. I don't do anything to my face, y'all. This is just the Lord, okay? This is just the Lord. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna get to bed. Good morning, y'all. It is Sunday, aka my Sabbath, which means I am going to have an extremely chill day. I really set aside Sundays to just rest, as I talk about in some of my previous videos. I believe it's just really important to have a whole day that's just dedicated to spirituality, to faith, to reflecting on the Lord, to reflecting on Jesus, on my blessings, on just existing and not trying to accomplish anything and do anything. And so I'm not going to record a bunch of B-roll, but I'll just grab little snippets maybe throughout the day. My friend sent me this video that's like an hour long about, I think it's like a body keeps the score type talk. So I'm gonna watch that. I've already seen it just trickle out into the rest of my life. This kind of focus on making sure I'm well rested, making sure I am grounded and at peace. And I'm much more quick to evaluate when something is disturbing my peace and figure out why, because that don't make no sense, you know? So those are my plans for the day. Oh, there's somebody walking right there. I'm just gonna wait until we walk past, and then I'm gonna keep talking. All right, y'all, that is the end of my vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, there's a lot more weeping that does happen over the course of the week that I did not mostly include. You know, if you're like weeping really hard, you will get turned into a meme. But I include a few sniffles, you know, because I had to tell you all the truth. The spiritual journey, it's real out here. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more of these types of videos. Vlogging is obviously a more involved process. But if you like it, let me know. And maybe I can do some more. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one.